Hey everyone, today is October 27th, and welcome to the Service Binding Operator weekly call. We have, before we start the discussions, we have one announcement to make. SBO 131 with one CVE fix has been released upstream last week, I think. Maybe beginning on this week, and it's available on Operator Hub and Artifact Hub. We're working in Red Hat on the downstream now. So if I miss any announcement, please feel free to add.
But for the record, if I may jump in for a moment, there's also a Helm release expected to be happening on Operator Hub that hasn't happened yet.
On Artifact Hub, you mean?
Artifact Hub.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Andy. So let's move to the discussion. So Francesco, you have a demo. So stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to share my window, the terminal. Okay. Okay, can you read it? Or is it
very
too
faint? It's very, very faint.
Okay, I can zoom in.
Sure, that'll help a little.
Is it okay?
Better. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Hi everyone, today we are going to see a couple of changes that we did at our Makefiles in order to provide a better experience for developers that are working on this project on the Service Binding Operator. Basically, the changes that we did was to add version checking on the dependencies that our Makefiles are installing in the bin folder. Indeed, as you can see in the project, will be created while working a bin folder containing the dependencies that our Makefiles and our project is using. We changes a little bit the logic by introducing version checking of the dependencies, introducing some rules for installing other dependencies that were missing in the Makefiles. And we also added these two rules that are install tools and local env that can be used from developers to easily set up their environment at start time by basically installing all the dependencies that are needed and configure their environment, their shell, to use that binaries first. So as I said, the rules are now updated in order to check on the system, to check if there is the dependency in the bin folder, and if the version of that dependency is matching the one that we are defining and that we want to use. That will guarantee a better consistencies among experiences, so everyone will be using the same version of the tool as we are using. Then if the system cannot find in the bin directory the binary of the correct version, it will check on the system. If on the system you can find this specific version of the tool, a link will be produced that links to the installation on the OS, so you won't need to download again the same version of the binary you are using. Otherwise, the procedure will download and install locally in the bin folder the binary. So as you can see, we have at the moment in the bin folder of the project a couple of tools that I downloaded in order to reduce the time of this presentation, but we are missing a couple of tools, like, for example,
The YQ, for example.
Yeah, or the operator SDK or kubectl. And we can, as you can see in this list near the install tool, we can easily do the make install tools, run the make install tools rule. We are using the Anike verbosity here, and you will find the other tools. I'm going to enlarge this a bit. Installed in the bin directory. As you can see now, we have the JQ, and we also have a couple of links to the installation of the operator SDK and kubectl we have locally. Finally, as a companion for this rule, we also have another rule that is the local env that basically will only print a script that you can evaluate in order to update your path environment variable with the path to the local bin folder, because otherwise you will not find the tools. Like, for example, try running JQ. I do not have it in my host, so my shell won't find it. I have to basically use this kind of approach that can be annoying. In this way, if we evaluate this rule, we will have, every time we run JQ, we are going to use the one from the service binding operator bin folder. Finally, last thing that we did is to update all the rules that we have in the makefile by explicitly saying that they depends on that dependency. So if you do not have downloaded any of this dependency and try to run, for example, make install, it will first of all download the customized tool and kubectl tool that it needs in order to execute.
Okay.
And that's all. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
I have one addition. I'm not sure if you mentioned that, but if the CLI is already installed, but it is on a wrong version, it would update it or make sure that it is on the required version. Right. For example, if you have an older version of YQ and our tooling requires the newer one, which is defined in the makefile, it will sort of override it.
Yeah. Yeah. For example, in this case, I have Minikube installed in my host, but in the we are using we do want to have Minikube 1.26.1, so it's not good for here. You can see the version, so it's not good for our system, for the service binding operator. And when we run the make install tool, we will be the tool will install a version of Minikube that is the specific one and won't use the one that is installed in the system. So we have another binary. We do not have a link. We do have Minikube on our system, but we downloaded the specific version that we need.
So it's the two binaries are living side to side basically. But then you need to set your CLI to use the correct one.
Yes, if the CLI is using the make rules, they will default to this bin directory. If you, as a developer, are running in a shell some commands and you want to use these binaries in the local folder, you have to evaluate the result of this rule in order to have a simple way of using these binaries, or you have to explicitly say that you want to use that binary.
But the make commands will use that one by default, the one under bin. If you're doing a make operation and needs the dependency, it'll use the one under bin, not install in the system.
Yes, they will use the one in bin. That may be, if the version on the host is the same as the one that we need, maybe
Sure.
simply a link to that binary.
Okay.
Any other question or comment? Okay, thanks, Francesco.
Thank you.
Checking the agenda, we do not have anything else on today's menu. So
Can we talk? Can we? I just learned from Andy that there's a problem with the downstream release.
yeah, but we shouldn't discuss it on this
here. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we can end the call and then go on with the discussions, right? Or
yeah, I agree. Let's just maybe start the recording since we have some time. Yeah.
Right. So okay, thank you. See you next week.